Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Jessica Nicole. I'm a self-published author of YA fantasy romance novels, and in today's video we're actually going to be doing my What I Read in March combined with my April TBR. So when I do these What I Read / TBR videos, I always like to throw in my What I Wrote and my writing plans for the next month. So what I wrote is I am still working on book 2 in my duology, my Little Red Riding Hood contemporary fantasy duology. The Crimson Silver duology is what it's called, and book 1, Moonshot, is available now, and I'm working on book 2, which is called Moonrise. I have been working on that since February. I have got that up to 40,000 words, and so that's what I did. I just wrote 20,000 words in Moonrise, and this upcoming month, which is April, we're in the month of April now, the plan is to write at least 20,000 more, if not 40,000. I'd really like to double it, so 20,000 conservatively, 40,000 shooting for the stars. So those are my writing plans. On to what I read in March. So what I'm going to talk about first, I'm going to talk about the books that aren't physically here so I don't forget to talk about them. I read That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberly Lemming. This is a shorter novella, I think. It was very quick. I think I read it in about 3 days. I'm going to consult my journal to make sure. But this is basically the story of a girl named Cinnamon who basically has lived her whole life trying not to be a hero. Literally, she does everything she can to blend in, but her destiny kind of finds her anyway when one night she actually gets drunk and saves a demon, and then her and this demon, he's like this dragon shifter thing, they kind of go on this quest to save the world, pretty much, because the world has been lied to. The goddess that they're all worshiping, and you know, she's telling them that all the dragons and stuff are evil, all the werewolves and everything, they're evil, but actually this goddess is evil. She's kind of got everybody fooled, basically. Not kind of, like, she has everybody fooled. And so once the dragon convinces Cinnamon that he's right, that the goddess is like up to no good, they set out on this journey to kind of destroy her temples and basically put a stop to her craziness. Sorry, I could not find this journaling page for the life of me, but I kept track of what I read in my journal, and so each book I read got a different color assigned to it, and then I put the days down here that I read them. So yeah, it took me 3 days to read this. Super quick read, super fun. It was hilarious. Basically, it was like a rom-com but fantasy, which I had never seen before, honestly, and it just kind of, it took me off guard a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie, it took me off guard because you usually expect like fantasy to be super serious, and it doesn't always have to be. But I will say, I feel like it was kind of a little much at times. Like, the humor was a little bit much at times, and it kind of annoyed me a little bit. Also, I feel like the story was so short, like you didn't really get a chance to get a feel for the characters outside of like the 2 main characters, like Cinnamon and the main guy character. You didn't really get a feel for all the other characters because she introduced a lot of other characters, maybe because I know there's going to be subsequent books, so maybe that's why they were introduced, but I would have liked to like get to know them a little bit at least. So I ended up giving this one 3 stars, unfortunately. That one I just had to, because I just had so many issues with the plot and how it felt like certain points were rushed, and it felt like, you know, I feel like if she had given herself a little bit more room to write the story, it could have been really spectacular. One scene that I really, really loved was when Cinnamon is like fighting this other dragon who's been possessed by the goddess, and she's like in complete like warrior mode. I love it. And I wish like we had more scenes like that in the book. But yeah, 3 stars for that one. It is like a continuing series, and I did read this one on Kindle Unlimited, so I didn't like, you know, it was fine. I was just with my Kindle Unlimited membership, so I'm probably gonna keep reading the series because, like I said, it was fun, and I didn't hate it, and so I'd like to see what happens to the rest of the characters. Alright, next book I'm going to talk about is actually The Traitor Queen, which is a sequel to The Bridge Kingdom. I'm treating The Bridge Kingdom and The Traitor Queen like a duology because I know, so if I say The Bridge Kingdom duology, I know it's not a duology, y'all. But these 2 books are the only books that focus on Arryn and Lara, and so these are the only 2 books that I care about, so I'm saying that they're a duology. But I loved this book. This book was fantastic. The first book I didn't like as much because I felt like it drug a little bit. It felt kind of slow in comparison to this, which like hits the ground running and does not stop. I still liked the first one, but this one I loved. I gave this one 5 stars. It basically picks up right where the last one left off. Lara is dealing with the aftermath of her choices, and she's trying to kind of right the wrongs that she unknowingly committed. She was trying to like right them in the last book, but then things just went like super left, and now she's got to find her way back to her throne, into the heart of the man that she loves, and just find a way to forgive herself for what she's done. And it's just such a beautiful story. It's so moving, so heart-wrenching, so vivid and lovely, and I just love it so much. We get the dual point of views again. We get Lara and Arryn's point of views again. I love the glimpses we get of other characters we saw in the first book and characters we didn't get to see. I love Lara's sisters, like all the sisters we got because we only got them through her eyes like for a few minutes in like the first chapter, and you know, we got that stuff with her sister at the end, the crazy one, but we got to meet like some of her other sisters. I think Bronwyn is my favorite of her sisters. She was so fun. But yeah, highly enjoyed, highly recommend, and I gave this one 5 stars. Oh, and this is by Danielle Jensen. Okay, and then the other book, that's 1, 2, oh, the other book that I read that was on Kindle is By a Thread by Lucy Score. So I don't usually read like regular rom-com romances. I need like a dark contemporary romance. I need something going on. I need like something to keep my interest because rom-coms are so boring to me. I'm so sorry, like they are just boring to me. I can't do it. However, I have decided that if it's Lucy Score, I will read the rom-coms because she is fantastic. Like the story was so great. It was so funny. It was so heartfelt, and I just loved every bit of it. It was long, but I didn't even mind how long it was, like super long for a romance, but I really did. I didn't even notice. This is By a Thread is the story of Allie. She's down on her luck because of things like outside of her control, and she's working all these jobs. She's a waitress at a pizza parlor. That's one of her jobs. And one day this like very rude dude comes in, rude rich guy comes in. They get into a spat. He ends up getting her fired, but his mom is there with him. His mom is the editor of like this fashion magazine, so think The Devil Wears Prada, but with a nice Miranda Priestley and like a hot male boss. And the mom offers her a job where Allie can't be fired, so her and Dominic are like in forced proximity with each other. They have to like find a way to work together and get along, all the while like their feelings for each other are growing. They both have so many issues that they help each other work through, and it was just a beautiful story, and I loved it, and I gave that one 5 stars. I finished the Caraval trilogy, so I finished up with Finale. I will say that I did not like this one as much as Legendary, but I did like it more than Caraval. So this one I gave 5 stars, but Legendary was better. However, I think this is a fitting conclusion to the story. I loved all the new places, how we got deeper into the lore of the Fates. I do miss the Caraval game because there is no game of Caraval in this one. It's the first one where there was not a Caraval game. So that kind of bugged me, but I did like how we got both sisters' points of view. I do like how we got more into the history of the sisters and their mom. I liked how the romances wrapped up in this. It was just a beautiful story, and it's just a continuation of the story from the previous two books. Tella and Scarlet are just on their own paths of self-discovery and figuring out how to like navigate this new world and this new freedom that they have from their dad, and figuring out what to do about the fates. The fates are like these trickster gods, and now they're loose around the city. So that's the whole like conflict in the book this whole time. They're trying to figure out how to stop the fates and how to make the world safe again. And I loved that, thoroughly enjoyed it. I love Stephanie Garber's writing. Anything she writes, I will read. Someone else, anything they write, I will read, is Tracy Dion. I read the 2 books that are available at the moment in the Legendborn cycle. I read Legendborn and Bloodmarked, and I'm going to have a whole reading vlog on these books. But basically, these books follow Bree Matthews. She is a merit scholar at a prestigious Carolina university. It's the same university her mother went to. Bree starts her merit scholar program just after her mother passes away. Her mom passes away under these like crazy, mysterious circumstances, and Bree is convinced that it was not just a car accident. She's convinced that, you know, there are supernatural forces at work because of things she experiences at this university, and she's determined to infiltrate the Legendborn, which are these descendants of King Arthur's knights who fight demons. And she's determined to basically join their ranks and figure out what they had to do with her mom's death, because she's convinced that because of something that happens to her while she's there, and it reminds her of what happened the night her mom died, she's convinced that these people had something to do with it, and she's going to figure out what's going on. But at the end of this book, something crazy happens, and she figures out that, you know, she didn't need to basically try to force her way into this because she belonged there all along. And that's where Bloodmark picks up. So Bloodmark picks up right after all the sugar honey iced tea hits the fan, and we have Bree trying to navigate. And Bree has to kind of try to navigate like these two sides of herself, these two great destinies that she has, without letting them destroy her in the process. And I loved these books so much. I am so mad that book 3 is not available, because this one ends up on a massive cliffhanger, just warning you. I love the lore in these books. I love the heart in these books. I love the quotes in these books. I like literally highlighted whole pages of these books, especially this one. This one I liked a little bit more. I gave these both 5 stars, but Bloodmarked I liked a little bit more than Legendborn. So far this one's my favorite in the series. There is like a love triangle situation going on in this, so be warned if you're going to join the fandom. There's a love triangle situation happening. I am team Cell, Bree and Cell. This is them in all their glory. They're amazing and I love them. So anyways, yeah, loved those, highly recommend those. My favorite thing that I read this month by far. And that is what I read. So I read 6 books this month instead of the 3 I had planned to read and the 3 that I read last month. I'm really proud of myself. I really pushed myself, and I am proud and happy that I got 6 books read. So I'm gonna stick with 6 books because I literally finished Bloodmarked on the 31st of March. So I think 6 books is the limit. What I am gonna be reading in April, I want to read Love in the Time of Serial Killers, just because I've had this on my shelf for a while and it sounds really intriguing and interesting. So I think it'll be fun, a little break in between or during my process of reading the Six of Crows duology. So I really want to read the Six of Crows duology so that I can watch Shadow and Bone on Netflix. I did watch season 1 like when it first came out a while ago, because I had never planned on reading either of the series, but I've heard amazing things about the Six of Crows duology, so I want to read these. But I'm going to read these first, then start over with season 1 and watch season 2, because I don't really remember what happened in season 1 anyway. So I'm going to read these. Super excited. And I'm going to be reading Vipers and Virtuosos. I've actually already started this one, as you can see. Loving it so far. This is an Orpheus and Eurydice sort of reimagining, but it's like a dark contemporary romance. So I'm excited to continue this, because I've gotten to the good part and it's picking up and it's very spicy and I am loving that. And then 2 more that I'm going to read on Kindle. I want to read My Dark Romeo. Don't know anything about it, but I've been hearing like good things about it. Apparently it's like a dark contemporary romance too, so right up my alley. And then I am currently in the middle of reading, well, I'm actually like a third of the way through, Kingdom of Villains. So I'm going to finish that this month on my Kindle. It's like a arranged marriage, Seelie princess, unseelie prince, and I just found out he's like a dragon or whatever. So yeah, I'm reading those, and that is my March wrap up and my April TBR. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of any of these books if you've read them, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.